Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vish, and today we're going to be going through the 10 books I want to read in 2021. I know a normal person would go like 21 books to read in 2021, but not me. I just want to have a small list of books that I want to read. Like all these books I'm excited to read, and they're also all from my physical TBR that I really want to get to. So having this list will definitely push me to pick up these books that I really want to read, but I don't want an extensive list. I just want a short list, just so I have more freedom in choosing different types of books to read throughout the year. So without further ado, let's get into the books that I want to read in 2021. So the first book that I picked is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I've just heard so many good things about this book and also kind of mixed reviews. But my mom really liked Ninth House, so I thought I really should pick this up because her taste and my taste kind of align. Obviously, mother-daughter. But I really want to read this, and I feel like I have a feeling, like all these books, I have a feeling that I will really like these, like 5-star kind of thing. Maybe I should put this as like a 5-star predictions list, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. My point is, I feel like I really like this. I am not sure what this book is about. I just know it's about, I think, Alex Stern. She's attending Yale, and she has powers to see ghosts, I'm pretty sure. And in Yale, I think Alex kind of joins this cult thing. I'm not too sure. I know there's a murder involved, so they have to solve that murder. So I'm not too sure. All these books, I'm not too sure. I just want to read them because I think I'll really enjoy them. So, first book, Ninth House. The second book is The Martian by Andy Weir. I know a lot of people love this book. I know apparently it's really funny. So I'll just tell you the synopsis. So it says, I'm stranded on Mars. I have no way to communicate with Earth. I'm in a habitat designed to last 31 days. If the oxygenator breaks down, I'll suffocate. If the water reclaimer breaks down, I'll die of thirst. If the hab breaches, I'll just kind of explode. If none of those things happen, I'll eventually run out of food and starve to death. So yeah, I'm screwed. So it sounds really like kind of satire and also dark at the same time. So I'm very excited to read this. This is an adult sci-fi, I believe, and Ninth House is actually an adult fantasy. So very excited to read this one. I'm pretty sure this takes place on Mars, by the way. So cool. Now the next one, I remember seeing this around BookTube and I thought, wow, that's freaking interesting. And then my friend Abby from Abby Salter, I'll link her channel down below, she really enjoyed this book and she told me that it's a series and I didn't know. So this one is the first book of the series and I did not know that. So the second book, I think it's coming out this year sometime. So when I read this, if I enjoy it, probably read the second book. So the third book I'm going to talk about is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth. I love this cover. The UK cover is much better than the US cover. I'm sorry, but it really is. I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure this book is about a library that is located in hell, and this library contains the books that are unfinished by authors. And there's this girl, Claire, that works at this library in hell, and basically her job is to not let the characters from those books escape and go back to the author and basically beg the author to finish the book. So her job is to keep the characters in the book in the library. So that's freaking interesting as hell. Pun not intended. Very interesting. I cannot wait to read this. I feel like I'll really enjoy this. I feel like the writing is going to be like kind of a little bit of whimsical and dark at the same time. I think this is what I'm predicting. Don't know if this is actually true, but I feel like that will be it. So very excited. And the fourth book on my list is Master of Sorrows by Justin Call. So I don't think this book is very popular on BookTube. I'm not sure, but I remember seeing this at the bookstore and I looked at the cover and it was beautiful. And I read the back and it's about avatars. Like Avatar, The Last Airbender avatars, not the blue people avatars. So this book has an academy. So it's called the Academy of Chen Balu. And it has stood against magic for centuries and is hidden from the world. Acting in the shadows, it trains its students to detect, retrieve magic artifacts. Of the Academy's many students, only the most skilled become avatars. warrior thieves capable of infiltrating the most heavily guarded vaults, and only the most determined are trusted to resist the lure of magic. It's so freaking interesting. I cannot wait to read this. I know the second book comes out this year, actually. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I can get to this and read the second book as well, because so freaking interesting. And the fifth book I'm going to talk about is Steel Crow Saga by Paul Kruger. I know it's very similar to Master of Sorrows, but the reason why I really want to read this book is because apparently it's kind of like, so it's like Pokemon meets something. So you have like a magical companion with you as you're going through like your quests and stuff like that. That's so fucking interesting. And it says, a soldier with a curse, a prince with a debt, a detective with a grudge, a thief with a broken heart. A band of rogues and royals who should be enemies are about to find a common purpose unites them, defeating an unstoppable killer who defies the laws of magic. Ragtag group, hopefully a found family trope, because I really like that. And animal companions, like why not? Like you can see there's like a bird, a rat. Is that a dog? It's a dog. Oh, I really can't wait to read this. So interesting. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I'm pretty sure this is a YA fantasy. Now, the sixth book on my list, I know Jessie from Jessie Mae will be proud of me for this. And the sixth book on my list is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This is Jessie's favorite book of all time. I think I've mentioned this a few times, but this is a favorite book of all time. I definitely want to give it a try because she just makes it sound so interesting that I think I might like it. So I really want to read this. I'm pretty sure this is an adult horror thriller book, and I think it's essentially about this boy and his mom who moved to this new town, and the boy goes missing in the woods for about 6 days, I think, or 3 days, I'm not sure. He goes in the woods, he goes missing, and then he comes back, and he has an imaginary friend, and this imaginary friend basically tells him he needs to build a tree house in the woods or else something bad is gonna happen to the town. Again, that's all I know about this. And it's like 800 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like 700, 800 pages. It's a long book. But I love me a good like horror thriller book, so definitely very excited for this. Now, the seventh book on my list is kind of like a me thing. Like I really want to read this book so I can finally watch the movie, because that's like always been like my thing. Like I want to read the book before I watch the movie. So I really want to read The Shining by Stephen King. So I know nothing about The Shining. That's how much I've avoided spoilers from the movie and the book, so I can like read the book and then watch the movie. Like I've avoided all spoilers, every single spoiler. Like I know like certain scenes of the movie, like the two girls and the boy in the tricycle, sorry, and the blood in the elevator. That's all I know. Like I remember reading a little bit of this like a long time ago, maybe like a couple of years back, and I put it down just because I wasn't in the mood for this. But from what I read, it's about this boy Danny, and his dad needs a job, and his dad goes to this hotel for a job, like as a janitor, I think, and they get the job, and the whole family kind of stays in the hotel, and I think like the dad goes kind of crazy. I'm not sure. That's essentially what I know about this book. It's a classic horror book, adult horror. So I can't wait to read this and see what the fuss is about. I feel like I'm gonna love this, but I'm also scared that I won't. So we'll see. This is gonna be my first Stephen King, by the way, as well. Like I really want to get into more Stephen King, so I thought I'd start with the classic, The Shining, instead of Pet Sematary. But I'm gonna start with The Shining and see how I go. Now, the eighth book that I'm going to talk about is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. This cover is beautiful. Also, Sam got it for me when it came out. We went to this bookstore and I was like, ooh, I want a book. And he's like, okay, what do you want? Let me get it for you. And he got me this. So he was very, very sweet. I don't know anything about it. I know there's this boy, apparently it's called Zachary, and he is in his university's library and he finds this book, and this book contains like about his life. And it's a very mysterious book. And I know it's like a story within a story kind of situation. It's very whimsical. It's very lyrical. I feel like I'm really gonna love it. I really am. So I'm very excited. As I said a million times in this video, I'm excited to get to it. Also, I just realized that this is a boy. I'd never realized that before, but Well, there you go. Now, the 9th book I want to read is Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. So I read Kings of the Wild last year, and this is the companion novel, I think, or no, it's definitely not the second book. I think it's the companion novel because it follows the daughter of one of the characters in Kings of the Wild. And I know nothing about this. It's just, for Kings of the Wild, we're following a band of old mercenaries that's trying to rescue someone. And in this one, just follows the daughter of one of the characters, and they're a band of mercenary as well. I'm not sure what the plot is. I just know it's going to be a hell of a ride and a fun time. And I think people say that this is darker than Kings of the Wild, because Kings of the Wild is just like a fun time. So I think I'm gonna love it because I really like Nicholas Eames' writing and his humor, so very excited for this. And the last book is gonna come as a surprise to everyone, including me, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I've never read Pride and Prejudice. I've seen the Keira Knightley movie, as everyone has, and I loved that movie, and I never read the book. My mom has read it when she was a teenager, I think. She loved it. It's one of her favorites, so I definitely want to read this. Oh, synopsis. I have no idea. I just know Elizabeth lives with her sisters, and then Mr. Darcy comes along and they kind of fall in love. That's all I know. I don't know if I'm going to love it just because it's like a classic and the writing style is a bit probably going to be dense for me just because I don't read much classics. So I think once I get a hang of the writing style, I feel like I'm really going to love it. So we'll see. And those are the 10 books I want to read in 2021. Let me try and pick it up. Hold on. All right, so these are all the books I want to read in 2021. Hopefully I will get to them. I think it's not an ambitious list, and they're not like all chunky. Probably Imaginary Friend is probably the most chunkiest, but I'm very excited to read it. The most intimidating is probably Pride and Prejudice for me, to be honest, just because like I said, I don't read a lot of classics. So that's definitely the most intimidating, the most exciting. Like, I am excited for all of these, but maybe The Starless Sea is the most exciting for me, just because, no, I just feel like I'm gonna really, really love it, but we'll see what happens there. So let me know what you think of my list. If there's any books that you've read, let me know what you thought about them, and if there's any books on my list that you also want to read, let me know. Maybe we can sort out a buddy read or something, you know? So anyway, guys, like this video if you liked it, subscribed if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!